David Robinson, how are you?
Good afternoon, everyone.
Hey, Reverend Sykes.
Good evening, everybody. Can everybody hear me?
Yes, sir.
All right. I didn't know if my phone was messing up.
You got the script, Ms. Harrison. No, I don't have anything. You have it on your phone. Okay.
I need to print something.
No, I can send it. Did you get it?
Yeah, I got it.
Oh, you know where I- you got the money, everything for the money. Motion. I didn't bring it because. You should have. Oh, I don't know.
Okay, the state of emergency allows us to do it.
We don't have to do it. They won't have one close. Yeah, I never like this.
Well, you should have one more.
We asked them. We asked them. They don't have.
So thanks, so you should have been on here just a second. Did you see that? That's the truth.
I got this.
Okay.
That's me.
To you.
Madam Vice Chair. Hello? The volume is low. I can't hear you.
Yes, can you hear me now?
Yes. Are we waiting on something?
We're waiting on our attorney.
Okay.
Ms. Sloan is supposed to be logging in.
Okay.
With delay. It is 5:37, and our special call meeting for Weber City School Board of Education is called to order. The board's meeting tonight is proceeding pursuant to Executive Order Number 315 issued on September 25th, 2024, declaring a state of emergency for the entire state of North Carolina for 30 days. Pursuant to General Statute 166A-19.24, during a state of emergency, the board is authorized to have remote meeting participants counted towards the establishment of a quorum. As such, we have a quorum tonight with these three members in person and two members participating remotely. I would like to have each board member in attendance in person announce their attendance for the record.
Donna Harris.
Edith Jenkins.
Tiffany Hale. I would next like to have each board member participating remotely announce their attendance for the record.
Kimberly Robinson attending remotely.
This is O.D. Sykes attending remotely.
All votes tonight shall be conducted via roll call vote. Is there a motion to approve tonight's agenda?
I would like to make a motion to approve tonight's agenda.
Is there a second?
Second.
Okay, it's been motioned by Ms. Donna Harrison and seconded by Ms. Edith Jenkins to approve tonight's agenda. Are there any questions? All those in favor, let me have your usual voting sign of aye. Ms. Jenkins?
Aye.
Ms. Harrison?
Aye.
Ms. Kimberly Robinson?
Aye.
Ms. Sykes?
Did you call my name? I can't hear you.
I did, Mr. O.D. Sykes.
Aye.
And Tiffany Hale, aye. Any opposed? Ayes have it, and tonight's agenda has been approved. The next item on the agenda is approval of change orders. We have change order 1 and change order 2. Is there a motion to approve the change order 1 and change order 2?
Make a motion to approve change order 1, change order 2.
There's a second?
Second.
Okay, it's been motioned by Ms. Edith Jenkins and seconded by Ms. Donna Harrison. Are there any questions? All those in favor, let me hear by your usual voting sign of aye. Okay, Ms. Jenkins.
Aye.
Ms. Harrison,
Aye.
Ms. Kimberly Robinson,
Aye.
Cody Sykes,
Hello?
Cody Sykes,
I can't hear.
okay, Mr. O.D. Sykes, we are approving the change orders.
I can hear you now. It's, you keep dropping off. I don't know if it's the volume back there or what. Aye.
Okay, and Tiffany Hale, aye. Any
And Ms.
opposed?
Bird Robinson, aye.
Sorry, Ms. Bird Robinson, could you also, well, you stated your name, so we have that on record as well, as Ms. Bird Robinson has joined, virtually at this time. And Ms. Bird Robinson, aye, and Tiffany Hale, aye. Ayes have it, and the change orders have been approved. The next item on the agenda is approval of sales tax interlocal agreement with Halifax County Board of Commissioners. Is there a motion to approve the sales tax interlocal agreement with Halifax County Board of Commissioners?
I'll make a motion to approve sales tax with the Halifax County Board of Commissioners.
Okay. All right, the motion by Ms. Harrison and seconded by Ms. Jenkins, for the sales tax interlocal agreement with Halifax County Board of Commissioners. Are there any questions? If not,
And I'm
all
happy to answer questions if people have questions about it. If you want me to.
okay, are there any questions from anyone? Did anyone want Rod to expound on what, the interlocal agreement with the Halifax County Board of Commissioners is all about?
Well, let me just add one piece, because there's one blank in it that when we were discussing it between the attorneys and between staffs, one of the unresolved issues at that level was how much of the sales tax that gets recouped will be forwarded back to the school system for use. We had requested that 100% of it come back to the school system for other projects, and the commissioners this morning approved that 50% of it would come back as part of their kind of proposal to the board. I think that the options for the board are to kind of accept the 50% or to kind of authorize, Dr. Shotwell, and myself to maybe have some additional conversations with county staff and then ultimately the county commissioners about a different percentage if you think it should be something more than the 50%. I will also add in that the anticipated amount based on what we see in other places, if it's kind of all recouped, is about $1.2 million, kind of what we are estimating it to be. And that's about 2% of the GMP, the guaranteed maximum price that you just approved as change order 1 or 2. I forget which one it was. But it's about 2% of that number is kind of what we reasonably expect it to be. So right now it has a blank in it. So I think it does need to be approved tonight because the name on the construction contract and all needs to switch over to the county with the Board of Education as the authorized agent going forward. And one option would be to approve it with 50%. The other would be to approve it with a blank, but to authorize Dr. Shotwell to engage in conversations with the county manager about a different percentage and to bring that back to you at your next meeting. But since the county has approved it, if you approve it with a blank, I think that we can still get it, have everybody sign the version with the blank in it, and then get a newer version at an upcoming meeting. So those are kind of the big options, would be accepting the 50% or trying to negotiate a slightly higher number. And I wasn't at the meeting, so I don't know what the conversation was that led to the 50%. That's just the text and the email that I got from Glenn Rollins.
Ms. Hale.
Yes.
There,
Did you recognize me or was it somebody else? I'm not sure.
Yes, sir.
Oh,
Yes,
okay.
sir.
Okay. Thank you, Ms. Hale. I'll go ahead on and put it out there. I'm in favor of approving it, but with a blank. I feel strongly we need a higher percentage, given that we don't get an awful whole lot to maintain our buildings in capital outlay. I personally feel like we haven't received enough over the years, and other school districts may feel the same in the county, but I'm in favor of approving it with the blank to get a higher percentage. I would love to see a higher percentage. The 100% would be good, but 50, given our needs in Weldon, we definitely need more than 50%.
Okay,
I
thank you.
agree.
What's
I
that?
agree. Madam Vice Chair, I agree with that. And I also like to ask our two board members that are present with you who made the motion and the second, why they, or do they agree with the 50% or would they like to see it increased?
I can rescind. Yeah, and
You
I agree with the
understand?
break, yeah.
Okay. Ms. Harrison said she would like to rescind, and Ms. Jenkins also, so they're rescinding their motion that's on the floor.
No, we don't want them to rescind. We just want to leave it blank so that Dr. Shotwell can go and negotiate a higher percentage for us to receive more than 50%.
Okay, so. Ms.
I have a
Harrison.
question.
Yes, Ms. Brett Robinson.
So my question, I heard Rod say that he was not at the meeting, and the meeting was held, did you say this morning?
Yes, they met today, this morning, yeah.
Okay. Was there any representation there for Weldon City Schools?
I don't know. I actually thought the meeting was tonight, to be honest. So I don't know. When I was reaching out to Glenn to kind of talk this through a little bit further, he told me he was actually in the meeting. So I don't know if anyone from the school system attended.
Dr. Shotwell or Ms. Hale, was anyone there from
No.
our school district?
I was required to be in Raleigh for a quarterly meeting with the state superintendent, but when we were closing up shop on Friday, we were under the impression that we were getting it all. And so there wasn't any need to try to get somebody there. I have been in conversation with a couple of the Board of Commissioners members and also the county manager, because, my point is much like you all, is that, we're building a $65 million school for $3.2 million. And, to be able to get that 1.2 million back, there are some things that we can do at Weldon High School at the new project and possibly at other places that our kids typically would not have an opportunity to have. One of which is a possibility are lights on their baseball, softball field. We've never had it. I think our kids deserve to be able to play under the lights. You've got brand new school. And so that was one of the reasons why we were looking at the whole amount. But that's where we are, but they're very open to talking to us.
Dr. Shotwell, just know
Yes.
that this board in the past has supported representation at our county commissioner meetings by the superintendent, your designee, or the chair or the chair's designee. So we want we're not at the table. We cannot advocate for ourselves. Weldon City School students are not represented if we're not at the table. So someone needs to be at every Halifax County Commissioner meeting representing Weldon City Schools from this point forward, as we have requested in the past.
Yes, ma'am. I appreciate you saying that, and we'll make sure that happens.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay. Ms. Harrison, would you like to continue with your motion, please? As far as amending it with the approval, with the blank, for authorize, Dr. Shotwell and, Attorney Malone to negotiate for a higher percentage.
Okay, I'll make the motion to approve that Dr. Shotwell and Attorney Malone have more conversation with the Halifax County Commissioner with the blank.
Okay, is there a second? Okay, it's been motioned by Ms. Donna Harrison and seconded by Ms. Edith Jenkins to approve, the contract, with a blank, but authorize Dr. Shotwell and Attorney Malone to negotiate for a higher percentage. Are there any questions? All those in favor, let me hear by your usual voting sign of aye. Ms. Jenkins? Aye. Ms. Harrison?
Aye.
Ms. Bird Robinson?
Aye.
Ms. Kay Robinson?
Aye.
And Mr. Odie Sykes?
Aye.
And Tiffany Hill? Aye. Ayes have it, and we have approved the sales tax interlocal agreement, with a blank and authorizing Dr. Shotwell and Attorney Malone to negotiate a higher percentage. Next item on the agenda is notice to proceed.
And that's just simply, we're gonna give the letter to Clancy to go ahead and start October the 8th. But we would like for you all to give your blessing, please.
All right, I have a question, Dr. Shotwell.
Yes, ma'am.
As far as I know, you had mentioned before about, items in the building, I'm filed October 8th, but items in the building. Did we ever get anywhere or hear anything as far as, selling those items that were left, any items?
We put the lockers on gov.deal, but I'd have to talk to Mr. Hunter. Because we told him that it had to be removed by a certain time because asbestos, as soon as it starts in there, that'll be it.
Okay.
So, but, you know, he did reach out to, I believe, one or two, auctioneers, and they just didn't think that it was stuff in there that would really warrant them, you know, pulling it together, putting it online, and then having the event auction.
Okay. So what about the district? Someone in the district doing, is that possible?
Doing the auction.
Or like even having a sale within the district, instead of having an auctioneer to come?
I can let you know once we hear from the abatement piece, but you all have to do a formal declaration of everything that's gonna be sold,
So,
and that's gonna take some time to put together.
that's just the question.
No problem.
Yeah, I'll just get from this chop. My name is Donald Crack, with Fancy Base Construction.
What's your name again, sir?
Donald Crack, KPK. Yeah, we're looking to mobilize pending notice to proceed. We actually have a superintendent with his fifth wheel right at the campsite down the road. So we're eagerly ready to go. We would start site work activities relatively soon. But the abatement was probably about 3 weeks after that point, so that's really, really a short window. Yeah, just put that information out.
What? Is
Question.
there? Yes.
Dr.
This is-
Shotwell, I'm not sure if you've been made aware of this, but there were supposed to be bricks saved from the demolition to go on the new sign, and as well for a fundraiser to be sold for alumnus and others in the community. I'm not sure if you're aware of that, but I want to make you aware of that. So if it can happen, we can still salvage bricks from the building for that purpose, please.
Yes, ma'am. What they're doing, they're gonna get the bricks that are incorporated into the new building, and then we're also gonna set aside roughly about 500 bricks, unclean bricks, that we could use to resell for that purpose. And it's included in the contract and everything.
Along with
Okay.
the sea walls as well.
Mhm.
Yes,
So, the man.
Okay, thank you.
you're welcome.
Question.
Yes, Ms. Bird Robinson.
We had originally been told that this process would start in, I think it was July. Do we know why that process did not start in July? And because we are so late getting started with the demolition, how far is that going to set us back as far as being able to welcome our students into their new school?
I appreciate you asking that. The reason that it's delayed is because the initial bids that came in were about $4.8 million over our budget. And so we had to go back and look at the value engineer, look at some things go back, talk to contractors, and then we rebid the items, and that's where we were able to bring it down. And we have some alternates that are also included that we can discuss, but really, that's the reason why. What we have now, we have a substantial completion in August of 2026. We have gone over this. We debated it last week with 2 different meetings for over an hour or 2. And the biggest determination of this is going to be whether or not we find any unexpected things when we get the building out of there. Like, I know I'm saying this in jest, but it's not something that you would still find if somebody buried a car or some kind of other material out there to fill in the site underneath the high school. That would be something that would slow us down. But if there's nothing under there after we do the demolition, the site work should be very clean to get it done. One, that'll save us some money that we could put back into the budget for some of the alternates. And then 2, it'll keep us from getting behind. Once we get it dried in, which will be about 10 to 11 months into the project after they start, we'll know really then whether or not we can move the timeline back. They understand that we would really like to have it sometime in July. But that's kind of where we are. We want it done right. And unfortunately, those bids did come in like they did, but I'm just glad that everybody worked together and we were able to get out, rebid, and not have to sacrifice anything on the project. Because at one time we were talking about having to possibly build a wing as a possibility. And so now we get to build the school the way that it was presented to you all.
Dr. Shotwell, with that being said, we are still not receiving the links to those other meetings that are being held as requested in last month's board meeting for September. We did receive a notice for the meeting that was, I think, the next day or later that week, but we didn't receive a link, so we could not attend nor a time. So we really to receive the information for those committee meetings as well. So if we choose to attend, we can attend because we have the appropriate information.
Sure, I can do that. And I know that Ms. Hill has several of the meetings too, online.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, can I get a motion to approve the notice to proceed? Their motion?
Make a motion to proceed.
All right, and is there a second?
Second.
All right, it's been motioned by Ms. Jenkins and seconded by Ms. Harrison to approve the notice to proceed. Are there any questions from anyone? If not, let me hear your usual voting sign of aye. Ms. Jenkins?
Aye.
Ms. Harrison?
Aye.
Ms. Burt Robinson?
Aye.
Ms. Kay Robinson?
Aye.
Mr. Odie Sykes?
Aye.
All right, Tiffany Hill, aye. Ayes have it. We have approved the notice to proceed. The next item, I'm gonna turn it over to Dr.
Yes, it's a surprise. We wanted to surprise our principal of the year, and so we told him that he needed to be here for the meeting tonight. You know, because I couldn't wait until the next school board meeting because the deadline to turn the packet in is due before that. But I wanted you all to hear it first and be able to celebrate it with Mr. Hopkins. And we're going to be putting together a little dinner for both the teachers of the year and the principal of the year, and invite you all and be able to celebrate it right. But we want to surprise you, Mr. Hopkins.
Congratulations.
Well deserved.
Well deserved.
Yeah.
I wish I had a camera on his face when I announced that. But well deserved. You did a great job.
Yes.
You know, you're definitely moving the high school in the right direction, and you're one of the reasons why we're not a low performing district anymore.
Yes.
And we're making progress. And congratulations. And any help that you need with your application, we are here to help.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much. Thank you all for the
Madam Vice Chair, that's all I have.
Good job,
Yes.
Mr. Hopkins. Good job, Mr. Hopkins.
Job well done.
Thank you. Yes, we did.
Right. Is there a motion to adjourn?
I like that.
All right, is there a second?
Second.
It's been motioned by Ms. Jenkins and seconded by Ms. Donna Harrison to adjourn tonight's meeting. Are there any questions from anyone? If not, all those in favor, let me hear by your usual voting sign. Ms. Harrison,
Aye.
Ms. Jenkins, Mr. Sykes,
Aye.
Ms. Kay Robinson,
Aye.
Ms. Tanya Bird Robinson,
Aye.
Tiffany Hale, ayes have it, and this meeting is